So let me start by saying that this one is going to be a little longer than my other reviews, but I still don't intend to waste your time here with intros and the like. Let's get straight into it. I have an absolute bias towards Fire Emblem as a series, and I've played almost all the installments that I've been able to get my hands on, but with that out of the way, this game is absolutely worth its place in the series, especially after coming off the heels of something so amazing as Three Houses. I want to start out with the story, and I have to be brutally honest here, this story doesn't hold a candle to the incredible adventures that was Three Houses. Even an older title like Genealogy of the Holy War, this is indeed a very basic story. There's a baddie, he's evil without much more reason than that, go defeat him. On the way, there are some highs and there are many lows. Stories like the aforementioned Three Houses and others like Radiant Dawn and Awakening all had me enthralled. In these games, many characters have their own motives and things they wanted to achieve for themselves. Here though, you're the Divine Dragon, and because of that, everyone wants nothing better than to join you. The story they're trying to tell here is just generic. You'll probably want to end up skipping most of it as it's just a vehicle to push you around the map and fight things. A lot of the dialogue is pretty cringy at times, which is weird because there are sections in the later half where characters come off as a lot more natural. Their tones are normal, if not serious, to match what's happening on the screen. However, a major issue for me is that a lot of times characters are just clueless, lost as to what's going on, and outright idiotic in the face of danger. It's really odd to see the switch, and ultimately it left me not liking a lot of characters in the story. The reason I say that the way that I do is because I really want to make it clear that the characters in the story don't keep the same vibe or attitude in other aspects of the game, which is a weird disconnect that will happen a lot over your course of the playthrough. It's almost as if the people who wrote the story were locked in a cage and not allowed to speak to anyone else on the team. At times it can be a bit jarring, but I did find myself really clicking with a handful of characters. There are a lot here, some hit for me and some don't, but overall I do like the majority of the cast. Something that did really make it hard for me to connect with characters leads me into my next point, and that's combat. The combat is a visual treat in this game, as with all in the series. You start on a grid, then you choose whatever action you intend to do against an opponent, the camera will zoom in, and the action will unfold right in front of you. A lot of these animations are just pure delight. Seeing the Wolf Knight's crit animation for the first time had me reeling back in my seat. Then there are other things like the fist weapons, which feel like animations were lifted straight out of something like Tekken or Virtua Fighter. A lot of combat is hampered in my opinion by the fact that you have a huge army to pick from. I think I had 32 characters at the time of writing this line, and for most of the game on the field at once, you'll have upwards of 12 characters, which is a nice chunk, sure. But this is an ongoing issue for the Fire Emblem series where you have a ton of characters to pick from and only a few of them get screen time throughout the game. You get a wide array of characters, but the game only really allows for 10, give or take a few in some scenarios, and I just think that this game would have been better served if they could take the next jump and allow you to play, say, 15, or maybe even a system where you can use up to X, let's say 20, but with less characters on the map you get more experience. I think a system like this needs to happen at some point to keep the flow of combat from dulling towards the later stages of the game where even the new characters you're getting just don't hold a candle to your hardened heroes. Overall though, combat for the most part is damn good, with minor setbacks that are mostly just personal gripes more than anything that'll really bring down your experience. Characters cheer when they get a critical hit, they'll acknowledge each other when chain attacks happen, even going so as far as to praise their helper. It's all a really nice touch and creates an experience that is going to leave me replaying the game multiple times just to see all the interaction these characters have with each other. With that out of the way, let's talk music. It's absolutely incredible, especially in the moments of combat when the camera zooms in, the music explodes into an almost fuller version of the track. The progression swells, the horns start roaring louder than before, and you almost feel like you have an orchestra in your room as you watch a movie. A lot of the music will have you whistling along or just genuinely enjoying the beats coming through your speakers. Albeit nothing is mind-blowing, a lot of the music is very well done and adds to an already beautiful experience. I would like to note that some of the fights towards the middle part of the game will definitely be some of the best, as they pulled from older games in the series while adding a new age polish to a lot of the tunes that haven't had a chance to shine. It's quite enjoyable to hear, and having the option to pick your soundtrack while in combat for both enemy and player phases yet again adds another element of the combat that will have you craving the next battle. So to cap the video off, I want to spend a second talking about some of the other features you'll be engaging with throughout the game. First up is the Emblem system, and in my opinion this is one of the best mechanics Fire Emblem has come up with in a while. It also has the added benefit of drumming up some nostalgia when you hear emblems like Marth, Lyn, Sigurd, or even Ike speaking to you in the home base, or when they do their engage attacks for some fancy animation. The best part of all though is the emblems actually feel powerful. This isn't just a tacked on system the player can use mindlessly. Each and every time you unlock a new emblem, you'll have the feeling of holy shit, how do I build a character or combo around this new emblem? Every time I acquired a new emblem, I spent more time than I should have scrolling through each character, seeing their stats, comparing classes, and what would work best with the newly acquired tool. It was a great feeling that kept on going until the end of the game. Another topic of discussion would be the Somnial, which serves as a base to the player in the form of a floating mass of rock above the world. For the most part, this serves exactly as it has in other Fire Emblem games. There are a few activities to do here, such as the arena, building a farm, or maybe a few exercises to enhance a stat in the upcoming battle. These systems for the most part are just busy work to give the player something else to invest in when not doing stories or battles on the map. Before long, you'll have a rhythm and spend less time there and more time on the field. And with that out of the way, we've come to the end of my review. I really enjoyed this game and can definitely see myself finishing up this playthrough to immediately hop back in and try out new builds and customize characters that maybe got left behind in a previous run. I think this game fits perfectly in the series, and overall I would rate this experience an 8 out of 10. If you're a Fire Emblem fan and was worried that the next game wouldn't be as good as Three Houses, rest easy. This game is easily just as good. Even if you just enjoy the genre of games, it will be worth the price of admission. There are a few things that aren't great, but the overall package is well worth the price, and I highly recommend it for anyone looking for a chill, relaxed, enjoyable experience. Thank you for watching.